What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. This one coming on special counsel Jack Smith, as the pushy prosecutor is now catching another big backfire. One of the biggest hits that his case has taken. We got Trump now finding a huge win in a friend inside of that Supreme Court, guys. It's going to turn this whole case around and possibly turn around all of his cases, guys. I'm excited to get in this update, see exactly what's going on, why Jack Smith is crying in court once again. So we're gonna get straight to the clip and I'll get my thoughts on the back end of the video, guys. So definitely stick around to the end so I just get my thoughts on the back end. And also, YouTube pushes this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. But let's get straight to the update. Before we do that though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me and also hit that subscribe button, as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
We've already done a few of Trump's immunity case that's at the Supreme Court. And that is the most important of all of the court cases against Trump, run by Jack Smith. Because if Trump has immunity through his presidency on January 6th, 2020, then all this goes away. He's immune. So the question is, what will the Supreme Court say? And Trump has an unexpected ally in Chief Justice Roberts, and I'll explain why. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. This is some great enlightenment. We've got, one of my favorites, Mike Davis, who I follow on Twitter, comments on this Fox News short. Let's take a look.
I mean, now Utah Senator Mike Lee, former Alito clerk, also with me, Mike Davis, Article 3 Project founder, former Gorsuch clerk. Senator, let's start with you.
So you have Mike Lee, you have Mike Davis. One's a Gorsuch clerk, one's an Alito clerk. So these guys have authority. So I just want to let you guys know we're getting the best sources here for this news. I'm trying to, it's not all the, I mean, I like making fun of The View, but I also like getting some red meat in there too.
Do you think it would be likely that a majority of this court would say that President Trump or presidential immunity applies to these cases?
I certainly think it should be likely, and I think it will be likely. And the reason is this. There can be no dispute, no matter how loudly Liz Cheney and her acolytes in the Democratic Party, President Donald Trump was, in fact, president of the United States on January 6th. And you have to respect that fact in court, lest every president moving forward is going to be hobbled by a sure awareness of the fact that anything he or she may do could wind up bringing that president into court once that president is no longer in office.
Now, I just want to underline and clarify, this is the conservative argument. And I just want to ask you, which is most likely? Because it seems very likely, after seeing what the Democrats are doing with the courts to prosecute a former president, Trump. This is incredibly likely. This is a very bad precedent to set. This is a dangerous and common precedent. It's not wild fantasy. It's not weird. It's incredibly likely. And he's just saying, this is not the country you want to, the precedent you want to set. This isn't the country you want to live in.
We don't want that as a country. And I think the Supreme Court understands that that's not workable, nor is it justifiable under the court's immunity jurisprudence.
And now I'm just pulling this out because I wanted to, that's the Republican side. Now this is the Democrat side of what they argue with what happens if you give a president immunity. From the New York Times, questions about assassinations test the limits of Trump's immunity claim. So the Republicans come out and say something very mainstream and say, look, if you don't give him presidential immunity, then you'll have political opponents taking previous presidents to court. And the Democrats come out and pull this out of their butt. They go, no, no, no. What really is going to happen is a president is going to order an assassination on another president, which is science fiction. And if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the Democrats. But it's only saying that their test of presidential immunity is not reasonable. It's not common. We don't know of it happening. If it does happen, it's outrageous. What is far more likely with the president not getting immunity is you'll simply go after a political opponent or a previous one that just left office. And I mean, we're going to go after Barack Obama and Joe Biden if the Democrats agree that the president doesn't have immunity.
I would say to Liz Cheney and these other washed up Republican politicians, this is so much bigger than Donald Trump. This is about the presidency. If you can indict a president of the United States for his official acts, not his personal acts, his official acts, we are going to destroy the presidency and therefore destroy our country.
Now, it's going to destroy the country. Mike Davis is right. And this is where the three branches of government want to protect the three branches of government. The Supreme Court does not want to undermine the presidency, that branch of government, none more than John Roberts.
Think about this. Can the Trump 47 Justice Department charge President Obama for capital murder for his extrajudicial drone strike of 2 American citizens, including a minor?
Yes, Democrats, be careful what you wish for, because if you do this, we will come after Obama and we will come after Biden.
Can the Trump 47 Justice Department charge President Biden for his illegal mass parole of illegal migrants into our country and the resulting crimes? Do the Democrats really want to go down this path?
That's right. If Trump wins, we're going to do this. So he is launching a real threat. We're telling the Democrats, if you do this, we're going to do it. And we have to do it, or the Democrats won't change their mind.
I think of people like Chief Justice Roberts, who's he's kind of an institutionalist. He likes to, stand for the executive branch, and I think others on the court do as well.
But it's especially Chief Justice John Roberts. And this is to my people on my right. We have a few loopy people go like, John Roberts, he's been compromised. He's evil. He's working for the communists. I've heard every conspiracy. Lynn Woods proposed the most ridiculous conspiracy. It doesn't help us, because how do you explain John Roberts could end up being Trump's biggest ally on the Supreme Court? In this case, excusing his immunity. Under that immunity will undermine Fani Willis. It will undermine all this J6 stuff, which could put Trump back in office. How do you explain that?
This could be put an end to all of these cases, but I'm concerned that there also might be, through the court, running this fear of their own credibility being put at issue if indeed they short circuit the Democrats' attempt to short circuit the election.
So there's always that question of how much do the Supreme Court justices listen to culture and listen to the peer pressure to go get Trump? By the way, Laura Ingraham clerked for Clarence Thomas. So you have 3 ex-Supreme Court clerks. These guys know what they're talking about. But it's John Roberts who is the most for the institution of the presidency and is most likely to defend Trump.
Let's take Chief Justice Roberts, as your question was directed to him principally. First and foremost, you're right, Laura, he's an institutionalist, and he wants to make sure that the Constitution is solidified in a way that allows for each of these institutions, each of these 3 branches, to continue operating as coordinate branches within our federal government.
Yeah, he has no interest in undermining this. He's the one most likely to come out. He might even end up writing the majority opinion for Trump.
That is unworkable if the living, breathing embodiment of the entire executive branch of government has to live each moment of a 4-year presidency under the brooding threat of eventual litigation and criminal charges over official acts taken by that person while that person was president. It doesn't work.
Yes, and remember that. That is incredibly likely. That is a likely scenario. If they don't give Trump immunity, the political opponents will go after presidents. What is unlikely is the New York Times questions about assassinations, that they will try to assassinate an opponent and then claim immunity. That's ridiculous.
I think Chief Justice Roberts is going to see that. And yes, there are political crosscurrents here, but legally, this should be a no-brainer for at least a majority, if not a unanimous court.
Yes, thank you, Justice Roberts. Do the right thing. And this is one where his own judicial theory is most likely to help Trump out of all of the Supreme Court justices. Look for justice John Roberts, the Chief Justice.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those who want to go over there and check that out. Also, for you guys to go over there and show our friend Doug a bit of love. Oh my goodness, guys. We just seen an update that came with another monumental win for this guy, Donald Trump. It looks like this thing is all gearing up to get tossed out. Like we initially said, this guy, Jack Smith, blatantly trying to, come out and come in between that presidential election for 2024. It's not working. Judge Eileen Cannon has been, his enemy, his arch nemesis to this whole thing and not letting him get to Trump. Now we've got the Supreme Court justice looking like they're gearing up to, aid on the side, rule on the side of this guy, Donald Trump, stating that he did have that presidential immunity, or he should have presidential immunity, saying that he should be blanketed by that presidential immunity because he was, performing and conducting, roles as a president in an official presidential capacity. And it sounds like Justice John Roberts is, one of the most unlikely that's going to be on the side of Donald Trump for this, because this just creates a very slippery slope if you think about it, what's to come if they rule against, the presidential immunity, stating that your actions underneath, the official capacity as a president are not covered and blanketed by that presidential immunity, which just leads to a very, very dark road to go down. I mean, we would have, political persecutions left and right of, presidential candidates or previous presidents, I should say, those who sat in office and, sat 4 years, and then they've got to worry about the next guy coming in and, coming after them for acts they conducted as a president. This is what Trump's legal team has been trying to argue this entire time, guys, trying to say, Trump should have presidential immunity, blanketing him from a lot of these cases that have been brought about against him, these political witch hunts, Mickey Mouse cases, guys. We're saying, Fani Willis's case would be tossed out. The J6 case would be tossed out. The Mar-a-Lago documents case would be tossed out. I mean, so many of these cases, political witch hunts, persecution would be just tossed right out. Definitely would be another huge load off of Donald Trump's plate. Wouldn't be surprised to see, the Supreme Court ruling in favor of this presidential immunity just for, to set the precedent going forward that these presidents should have, presidential immunity blanketing them when acting, in the role as a president, guys. They can't be out here getting persecuted or prosecuted for, their actions as a president. Just doesn't make sense. That pushy prosecutor, Jack Smith, definitely knew he was in the wrong, way in left field when he brought about, this case against Donald Trump. Not to mention the biggest case that we've been trying to argue this whole time, that supposed special counsel Jack Smith is not even supposed to be able to, have merit to be bringing about, any type of case against Donald Trump, guys. His, illegitimacy of his appointment by that AG Merrick Garland, guys. It just doesn't make sense. His whole office was, brought about in order for him to come about, with these witch hunts. Mickey Mouse case against Donald Trump is not working. Now we're seeing the Supreme Court is going to slam down on Jack Smith, potentially ending his case for good. And rightfully so, guys. It's about time for these charade cases to be done. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to, the summer. Donald Trump needs to be on that campaign trail. The next case we need to see dismissed is that, Alvin Bragg hush money case, Stormy Daniels. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, guys. No initial crime. They're, coming after Trump for the cover up. A lot of these cases have no merit, make no sense, guys, brought about by a lot of rogue entities, rogue justices that, need to be cleaned out. Trump needs to do a full clean house when he gets into that seat later on this year. And that's exactly what they're scared of right now, and why everyone is freaking out that these cases are not working. Everyone on the left is freaking out. Everyone on the right is, told you so. We already knew that this was going to happen. All these cases have been chalked up to a huge nothing burger once again, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this one. We got Supreme Court. John Roberts now on the side of Donald Trump, maybe leaning towards, granting that presidential immunity or ruling in favor of it, which would be one of the most monstrous decisions that we've seen, coming in any of these cases, because it could be a domino effect for, the Fani Willis case, the J6 case, Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, guys. I mean, these things could all fall over like dominoes, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one.